Attention, this is a special episode of the Freedom Savage podcast that's done a tad bit differently than the others. Make sure that you guys like this video, comment below this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel because you need me. Peace out.
I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna hear your sound. And mama always told me to shout and speak my mind out loud. Come on and talk when you got the time. Freedom, what you on the line, we wanna hear from you. You got it going. Let your voice shine, platform yours is not just mine. We wanna hear from you. You got it going. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. You're gonna shine. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. You're gonna shine.
The song you just heard was Talk to Me, the Freedom Savage podcast theme song. You can listen to the full version of this song wherever you listen to music. Don't forget to check out 741 Quarantine Studio Remix featuring Quay and Douglas's new mixtape, Freedom Savage, the Mixtape. The links to all songs will be under this video in the description below.
Hey y'all, it's your boy Douglas, or you could call me Freedom. Welcome back to my channel. This is season 4, episode 1 of my podcast. We are back and better than ever. This is Freedom's Q&A session, which you guys already know. For those who don't know, it's an interview, kind of like, I would say BET 106 in part kind of style show. That's like a branch of the podcast, hence to why this is such a special episode. And without further ado, I have my guest here, Vanita Renée.
Hello!
I go to school with Vanita, and she recently dropped an EP, and I felt inspired to have her on the podcast because I don't know, me and passionate artists, we just click like this. So I love your content. I've seen you make like reels and stuff, which we'll get into. And I just noticed that you had an eye for content, and I was like, okay, she needs to be on a podcast. Like, what am I doing? Like, let me come on a podcast immediately. She is a singer. She puts out music, and this episode will be focused on her and her come up and just everything that she's doing musically, and really getting insight to her musicality and just her overall as a musician. And I am really glad to have her. So again, y'all, without further ado, obviously there's no audience here, but please do a round of applause for Vanita Renée. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Like, I'm so excited to be here.
Tell me your story. When did you find out that you had a love for music? What got you into music?
Well, I'm Black, so you know how that went back in the day. My entire family is musically inclined. My parents used to sing in this group right here called VOP. So they used to travel and sing and stuff. And my uncle is actually my biggest, not only supporter, but he's my biggest influence when it comes to music. He actually went to the school that we go to, and he did a music education program. So he's classically trained. He knows all the music stuff. And he built this studio that I use all the time. He was willing to teach me everything that I know. He was willing to listen to me and hear me out. And he's the one that played me all my gospel, my jazz, my R&B, all the stuff that I know now is because of him and my entire family. So when I told him I wanted to step into music, he was like, oh, okay. And he gave me the rundown because he used to play piano professionally, but now he teaches and he's a really great teacher. He used to teach me piano, but I didn't really want to do it. I kind of shied away from that, but he taught me everything I know about music. And he was always one to hype me up when I told him music is what I want to do. I keep telling everybody I could not see myself doing anything but music.
Beautifully said. What really intrigued me about you, like from first meeting you, like Vanita already said, we go to the same school. That's actually how we met. We had choir together last semester and this semester. And when I saw you introduce yourself in choir, I was already intrigued by you because I don't know what it is. I feel like all Black kids in school could like relate, but like you're gonna like just automatically just be in sync with those one or two ethnic kids in the class. I'm friends with anybody. I don't care about race, gender, none of that. But like, you know, people of color, when they're in class and stuff together, we have this little thing where we gotta connect,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
lock eyes. And when you said that you were like into musical theater and that you produced your own music, I was like, wait, I produce my own music too. Wait, don't tell me she produced her own music. Like what? In school, I'm a little bit of a loner. So and not necessarily like as if I don't like people. It's just that I'm not the type to throw myself at people, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like I kind of let friendships and relationships form organically. I knew that we had a rapport. So it was just a must that we had to get together. You know what I mean? To do this, to connect. And again, I'm just glad that we are here.
Yes.
Speaking of music, what type of music do you like?
This is always a hard question for me because I will listen to literally anything. I used to say anything except country, but country's growing on me.
Listen, I tell my friends that all the time. Like, I'm not against country music at all. Like, okay,
Right.
I'm West Indian. Like, my mother, she's from Barbados. And a lot of people would think, like, if you're coming from, like, the West Indies, like, you automatically just grew up on, like, reggae. And that's not the case. Like, my mom grew up on rock and country first. So
Wow.
yeah, like she grew up singing that. Like whenever we go back to Barbados, even recently, like when our family loves to have karaoke nights, when our family has karaoke nights, they're not singing reggae songs, they're singing those rock songs, those country songs that you'll hear on the movies from like long ago. That one country song that will play in like a store, whatever. My mom knows it. And her friends used to look at her like, girl, how you know all of this like stuff? And she was like, this is what I was raised on. R&B came later. I grew up in a house with people playing different things around me. My sister was more for the ratchet music, twerking music, rap, R&B, stuff like that. My father and my brothers were like rap, hip hop. And then I have a brother who loves rock music. So my love for rock music came from him. And, I feel like we grew up in an era where like pop was dominating. So I kind of got music from all sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
Whatever sound good to our ear, we like, period.
Exactly.
Period. Every country song may not be for us. Let me tell you something about my girl, Carrie Underwood.
I was just about to say her name.
Listen, let me tell you something about my girl, Carrie Underwood, because I'm a big Carrie Underwood fan, okay? Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift's early country music, let's talk about it.
Word for word.
Word for word. Like, come on. Not to mention Beyonce. She actually had a love for country music, showed her admiration for the country genre, but obviously because of racism and just pure ignorance, because Black people made all music, she wasn't given the respect for doing country, just as so many artists. And not only did she give so many underrated country, Black country artists a platform this year, but she delved into the country genre with her new album this year. And I felt like it opened people up to the genre more. Country actually right now is like the biggest genre out currently. It's good music. It just depends, you just have to have an ear for it. It depends on the song. It depends on what you like. Music is subjective. But what genre do you feel like you tend to listen to the most? I love all types of music, but my three main genres that I always find myself listening to is rock, pop, and R&B.
I love something about R&B, like the chords and the musical instruments and the vocals. The amount of thought that goes into R&B itself is just enough to make it my top genre. But after that, I really have to say, well, this term is subjective. K-pop.
We are K-pop girlies over here. I'm letting you know that right now. The biggest.
Oh my gosh.
The biggest.
I'm so glad because there's so much that goes into K-pop. It's not just pop. There's K-R&B, there's K-rock. There's so much that goes into it. And it's like, oh my gosh.
My cousin actually got me into K-pop. Chung Ha is my favorite K-pop, one of my favorite K-pop artists of all time. I know all her music. Jessie is my top. K-R&B. I do love Baekhyun. Baekhyun is my fucking heart and soul. Who else? I'm trying to think. Wonho. Who else?
Yeah.
You really got me on the run. There's a lot. Like, I feel like the K-pop industry, they're getting artist development. The shit they're doing for K-pop artists is not being done for artists out here. Let's talk about it. It's not.
There are so many people let's say like in Korea, who don't know about music here, but we know about music there.
Yeah.
Their advertisement and the way they go about things is so impactful. And that's why there are so many K-pop fans in America, in Canada, in South America, everywhere there's a K-pop stan.
And you don't have to know the words. And you don't have to know the words. It's the same thing for like people that like Latin music. You know, you don't have to necessarily know the words to like the song. First of all, Chung Ha is one of those K-pop artists where she'll blend the English with with the Korean. But one of my favorite K-pop songs ever, I forgot to mention my girl Hwasa.
Oh, I love her.
Wit by Hwasa is my favorite K-pop song of all time. When I tell you, I will be in this room screaming. Mind you, doing the words all wrong. Nothing I will ever do in confidence or in public. But speaking of artists, who is your favorite artist and who is like your inspiration?
That's a hard one. Let me open my Spotify. There's such a long list of artists that I just love, but first person that really comes to mind is SZA. Her voice and just the vibe of her music, it's calming. It's not something that you have to listen to in a certain mood. You can listen to it anywhere, anytime. And I don't even know how to explain it.
SZA does it all. Like if you listen to the album.
I want to bring that vibe with my own message. I don't think I have a top because everybody's on like a similar level.
Okay.
Recently, Bruno Mars, I love.
Because his duet with Lady Gaga that came out? Yeah. Oh my God. Bruno Mars songs, even some of Ed Sheeran's songs, some of Beyonce's songs,
yes,
and Michael Jackson's, some of their songs are like songs that upcoming singers have to learn. Like a lot of their repertoire, like you think Beyonce, Listen, or Halo. Michael Jackson, he has a ton. I can't even, like, I learned Ben when I was younger, Who's Loving You. Bruno Mars, When I Was Your Man, obviously, is a number one song that so many singers sing. I had to learn that song. I love that song, so it was easy. But you know, like they are what you would call passionate musicians. I fucked with you already, but I'm fucking with you more with this musical taste of yours.
Recently, I've been really into listening to various artists that sing like anime openings. Like those kind of songs and like Willow.
When the anime shows start and you'll hear those beautiful ass theme songs. And
Yes.
Yeah.
And Arctic Monkeys. I love Deftones.
Deftones. So you got taste is basically what you're telling me.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. I want to get into more of your views on things. You know, like you brought up K-pop real quick, and I just want to circle back to that. What do you feel like are things that need to be done for our music industry?
This may be a little controversial, but I think we need to, as a collective, stop giving a platform to people who don't really care for music as much. There are so many artists that are up there doing shows who they don't put effort into their music. And in the K-pop genre, if their music is bad, somebody will tell them. Like, they're not getting up there because it's not as good as everybody else who's paved the way. Like, they will tell you. And over here, Western music, it's going downhill. Everything is a sample. Nobody produces anymore. It's the same 5 producers on everybody's tracks. And what's with the mumbling? I don't understand the mumbling.
I'm crying. That's what mumbling. Like,
what do you mean?
The industry is not being as risk-taking with artists, and some artists aren't being risk-taking with their own music. You know, some artists just aren't talented and are kind of in it for the money and not in it because they're passionate about the music and it's so visible. It's caused people to kind of have like a lack of faith. People now aren't giving much thought to new artists, and we are in a nostalgia craze. A lot of people are now falling back to a time that made them happy. After COVID, life just blew the up. And that's why a lot of TV shows are getting remakes and stuff like that. It's like because people are trying to go back to a time where they felt like things were good, when life did have like some type of meaning. Your albums and EPs are like diaries. They're diaries of what the artist wants to share and what they're going through in that time of their lives. It's important to create worlds around your music and making it fun. because
Wow.
it's one thing to just have the songs, but the best thing about the songs is having those music videos and having like great performances. That's what I plan to do with my music and am doing currently. You think of Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, you think of Rihanna. You could see a picture of them, whatever, a style. You could tie that to an era. You knew what era that was
Yes.
from. This is something that K-pop artists are doing. K-pop music videos, so high budget, so phenomenal. You are entertained when watching a motherfucking K-pop video.
Yes.
Not knowing about the song, and you're gonna fall in love just because of the music video alone, because they're dancing to the bone and they're giving you what needs to be given. A lot of music nowadays over here, it's like a lot of people now are just want to create a vibe. Short form media and its effects on music alone, because songs being 2 minutes now, gotta go. Where are bridges?
Like, what are we doing?
Where are bridges? Another reason why eras aren't too much of a thing now, because artists now, they'll drop an album, a couple months later, here's a whole new one. Bitch, what about this last album? What about you creating? We still have artists like Melanie Martinez, Victoria Monet. They're giving us what's supposed to be given with an era and music. And I also feel like era is being used a little too loosely nowadays. And eras are supposed to last a couple of years, not just a couple of weeks and then that's it. A little cute rollout and then that's it. Boom, the album out, you're moving to something new. With K-pop, you see way more development, and the industry definitely needs to take more risk and fund artists, give artists a chance. That's why you see so much people going independent. I'm independent, I have my own label.
Me too.
Okay, come on, let's talk about it, because like it's needed. It's needed because at the end of the day, if you guys are not going to believe in us, thank God we believe in ourselves. We believe in ourselves.
Right.
Getting distribution deals and stuff is one thing. The one thing that I love about music is that I have control.
Yes.
I need to get better at my performing. I need to get better at my video making. Like, there's so much stuff with me that I know I need to get better at as an artist before I just keep putting out music and putting out and putting out music. My mom always said, treat your gems with care. I want to get better at learning the business. That way I can conduct my own business and market myself. But it's hard. You see how actors have SAG? We need a union for independent artists. I'm a real creative individual, and the music videos and stuff that I think of in my head, I need the money to do. Like, some of the stuff I really want to do. Yeah.
It's like, where is this gonna come from? I don't got
Where's the money gonna come from? Because I don't have $millions. I wish.
Right.
I want to do more with my videos. I'm a creative. I don't like to be stunted or limited. And you want to express your art the best way you know how to. And hence why I just said there definitely needs to be some type of company or foundation for independent artists. Again, artists that are passionate about their stuff and talented and are willing to grow and make mistakes. The non-talented artists that are in here for the money, cool. I'm not a 9-to-5 girly. I hate working. I hate the thought of it. I hate, in New York City alone, we live a lifestyle, and in this country alone, we're told that you're just supposed to work. And if you don't work, you're lazy. And if you're lazy, nothing's going to happen with your life. Nobody thinks to take care of themselves. That's the best thing about social media. People are being their own entrepreneurs, which is great. I'm not here to stop your bag or stop you from feeding your family. Those people are trying to get a coin too. They're trying to feed their families too, and they want to do it as easy as possible. I can't blame them. But what I feel like the music industry needs, and what I feel like the media needs to provide along with radio stations, is balance.
Yes.
There's a sector of people, that's their bread and butter, but we need to create a balance. If I hear them on the radio, I should hear talented and passionate artists just as much on the radio too. That's my thing. We just need balance. There just needs to be a balance. If there was a balance, I feel like it will give more nuance to the culture. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
A few moments later.
When it comes to your production skills, when did you learn to produce? And just tell me a little bit about that.
I have always been producing. I've been making like a cappella videos on my phone since I was like, what? Well, not on my phone. I didn't have a phone when I was 6, but I would take like my parents. I would take like my mom's iPad and, GarageBand. I'd do a little la 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 or something like that, sing to it, and they'd be horrible. But at the time, I thought it was great. I thought it was everything in a bag of chips. And once I found out about loops on GarageBand, I was like, okay, now I can kind of set up. And what you said about where the bridge is, I'm like, for real, and I realized in my EP, there isn't much of a bridge in any of the songs. And I was like, I need to fix that in my next song, because what is that? What is that about? And when I got back into loops, I was like, okay, I can structure the song like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. And then I decided, oh, there are instruments here. Let me play my own thing. So once I started with that, I asked my uncle if he could teach me like more about the programs he has in the studio. Now I use Digital Performer. It's a whole hot mess to learn, and it takes a lot of getting used to. But I was taught how to use that, thank God for him. And I was able to put out my first instrumental track in 2020. 2020 was the year where I started diving into my love for music, and I started learning more about production, more about songwriting. And sometimes I look back now and I'm like, some of those songs you wrote, girl, did not make sense. But now that I know what I want to write about and know like the vibe I want to bring to the table and the message I want to bring to the table, it's all set. There's always some more to learn, but yeah.
Everything you just said, I can relate to. Well, I started to learn how to produce late middle school going into early high school, and I also use GarageBand. I actually use GarageBand till this day. I make all my beats on my phone. This summer was actually really innovative for me because I got better at my beat making. I learned more techniques and learned more of my way around GarageBand. I discovered like a lot of packages and other elements on GarageBand that I didn't even know about in the last couple of years. And it made my beat making so much better. Even getting the air training at our school, getting the keyboard training that our school trains us to do. And if our school music program, it's boot camp. They're training you in our school. The girlies know we are stressed. Okay. Girl, we locked in this school year. We have to set a time just to do this there podcast. I got to get back to studying this. The amount of beats and shit I made on my phone. I wrote so much more songs this summer. Like I have so much music in store, but like I said, there's stuff to my artistry that I'm trying to perfect and get together before I just release more and more and more music. And in 2020, I actually started releasing music as well. But all my early work.
Right. It's like,
you know what I mean? I was like, my early work just wasn't.
It wasn't what I thought it was.
You know, my early work is still accessible on my YouTube page, not on my streaming, but it's definitely accessible on my YouTube page. You know, like, because I want to show people my growth. I want to show people it's important to show people where you came from and where you are now. It's all about telling a story. That's what music is at the end of the day. I released 3 official singles, and this year I released my first project, my mixtape. I had to get back into my little SoundCloud cover bag. You know, I wanted to kind of like start from level 1. And that's another thing I wanted to say about what I said about people moving too fast nowadays. We are under this impression as Gen Zers, I don't even know if that's a term, but we're thinking that if we don't do X, Y, and Z by 25, we're thinking our lives is over. We can take our time. I'm in college. I can sing opera, and I do plan on incorporating opera and the classical training in with our music as well. I knew that with the training, I will have the foundation to sing any genre. We're pretty young in this game doing this, it out. And I just want to know, like, you know, we both still have so much to learn, but what's advice that you give to artists?
I think the best thing to do is to not be embarrassed that you're putting out music. Don't be ashamed to promote it. Don't be ashamed to share it with people. Don't be ashamed to ask people to share it with other people, because this is your art. This is your niche. People deserve to hear it. And if you truly believe that this is as great as as you think it is, you should be proud of it. And I used to be afraid of putting out music because of the message. Not everybody believes what I believe. I'm a Christian girl. Not everybody else is a Christian girl. Not everybody else is going to agree with what I put out. But this is my art, and I'm sharing it with you. If you don't accept it, that's okay. But don't be afraid. There will be some scary things, but if you are afraid, don't show people you're afraid, because that will just
I agree.
take you down.
And there are going to be people out there that like your work. It's all about having a fan base and cultivating a world of people that love you and will support you and catering to them. And we could say whatever the hell we want about the Barbs. I'm a Barb, but we could say whatever the hell we want about the Barbs. they're gonna always love Nicki because Nicki caters to them. She connects with them. She talks to them. You get what I mean? She loves them. It's genuine. Like I said, music is subjective. Everybody may not like my music. Everybody may not like yours, but it's about cultivating a fan base that loves your music. It's crazy how number obsessed people have gotten. Like, it's music charting does not mean that it's good. Okay?
Right.
At all.
Let's talk about it.
Please.
Because
Period. Timeless music that you'll see played at family functions. There are music that we grew up on. Some of the best songs ever never hit the charts. Or
right.
I feel like we determine success. I told my friends, I don't use the word flop. It's just not a part of my vocabulary because I find it a little disrespectful. You know, if you're a talented artist and you're passionate about your work, for somebody to just consider yourself a flop, to me, it like immediately discredits everything that you do. Advice that you have for using social media to promote your music, because I kind of have a conflicting relationship with it. I don't like the idea of having to use TikTok to promote my music. I don't like the idea of having to do reels to promote my music. I get immediately discouraged when I see my reels not get any traction, but then I'm also really shocked and happy when I do see it like get a lot of views and reception. It's not something I always want to rely on, because I saw that you did a lot of promo for your EP, which we'll be talking about soon.
So everything you just said, I second 100%. Part of me hates social media because it's so hard to get people to see your stuff, like your stuff, share your stuff. And that's what social media strives on. Because if nobody's viewing it, there's no point in posting, right? But I would say my advice, just keep posting. You never know what's going to happen. I posted a really stupid video of me doing the Usher dance last few months, and it got 2.3 million views. And that gained me a lot of followers. People started seeing my music. And with this EP promotion, I just started posting. I started posting before to kind of build up that like something's coming soon, be excited for it. I'd say like before your music, unless it's like a surprise drop, make sure you post clips of your music, little clips of your music. I remember for the title track for my EP Flight, I was just using like a specific verse, my favorite verse that has like a catchy beat, catchy words. So people would be singing it. They'd want to come back, maybe like it, maybe share it. And I was just talking to one of my friends the other day. He told me, I really admire how you keep posting because I know the algorithm sucks. And does the algorithm suck? It sucks.
Because it's not made to push us. You got to pay. And even when you pay, it's just.
And you know what? Let's clock this tea. I paid for promotion on TikTok and I got 12,000 views, 30 likes.
What?
What are we doing?
Let's talk about my 4,000 views and 47 likes. The math don't math.
It's not,
the math just don't math.
I think it's better to not pay because you get to see what audience actually appreciates your content. Recently, I've just been posting specifically, and you know, with these weird keywords, you don't want to use like go to this platform because apparently TikTok doesn't like when somebody says leave my platform to go to somebody else's platform. But I noticed like I don't remember exactly what kind of content it was, but a lot of people would comment, "Oh, I like this. Let me go stream." And the moment you just keep posting, and once somebody sees your video, that ups the chances of them seeing you again. So if you keep putting that same thing in their like line of sight, they're gonna get used to it. Then they're gonna be singing it. Then they're gonna be like, "Oh, I kind of like this." Then they're gonna go back and they're gonna kind of interact and stuff. Because followers mean nothing. 1,000 followers, 1,900 followers on TikTok, 63 views on a video. Followers mean
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing. And it doesn't mean that those are going to be people to come to your shows or actually engage with your music.
Right.
Followers don't mean a damn thing. And there's
Right.
a legendary artist in this music industry. There are people in this music industry. There are people in music that lay the foundation for music, and they don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. They don't have, but they're the reason for why we have so much great things in pop culture, in music culture. So followers don't mean a damn thing. Something else I wanted to add. You said something about your music not having bridges. I wrote songs that don't have bridges. It's okay to have short songs. It just depends on what you have the short songs for. If it's something where you're just like, okay, it just needs to be short because this is what's popular now. I want to follow a trend. Like Nicki said on one of her interviews, following trends is cute and stuff, but you don't want to get too immersed in doing that if you're a passionate artist and you actually care about your shit, because you're going to become faceless. You're not going to have an identity because you're going to be stuck following a trend all the time. It's okay as an artist if you write a song and it's meant to be short. Sometimes I wrote songs where it's like, y'all, it's good like that. I already said all that. That's it. Most of my songs have bridges, but like the songs that are short or whatever, even if it's meant to be an interlude or it's just meant to be a short track. It's okay if the artist is like, okay, artistically, I made the song to be like this, not for no trends or no algorithm or anything, just so it could be this way. Some of Aretha's songs were short. So some of Aretha's iconic songs were a solid 2 minutes. So short songs are not an issue. I just think, like I said, the oversaturation, what people are doing it for, the kinds of artists we have now. Music is that one genre. You can't go into a doctor's field and just up and claim you're a doctor. You can't just go into the basketball field up and claim that you play basketball. But music seems to be that one genre now where everybody just feels like they have a hand at.
Yes.
And the gag is, no, some of y'all are not meant to be doing this. I'm sorry.
Somebody told me your major isn't important because there are so many successful artists that haven't studied music and they're successful. Guess what? They're successful, but is their music good? The samples that they're using, are they coming from uneducated musicians? No, that's not possible.
At all. It's just not simple. At all. You actually inspired me. I'm actually going to use some of your advice about teasing it beforehand. That was actually something I was thinking about doing. And hearing you say that was like, okay.
Yeah.
I see you. Okay. Because I want to create a world not just with my debut album, but with all the stuff leading to my debut album. Any future project I release before then. Everything that I'm doing is a part of the Freedom Savage era. It's all a part of one world. Everything that I do is connected. All of the music y'all see me release and that is on streaming platforms right now is meant to be on there. It's on there for a reason because I'm creating a world. This entirely is the Freedom Savage era. The actual album itself. That's going to be, I would say, the epitome of this era, which we're a long way from, but that I'm getting closer to the more I grow as an artist. You see Victoria Monet, she creates a world around each single. She just dropped an album. She's still promoting the era. We got All Right. We got On My Mama. She creates worlds around her songs.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. The Freedom Savage podcast will be right back. Did somebody call for the Don Dada? For all my New Yorkers out there that need their hair did, my girl Lily does weaves, braids, locks, ponytails, and natural hairstyles. You don't even need to leave the comforts of wherever you at. She'll come straight to you. DM Lily on Instagram at dream.styles1 to discuss pricing and all other inquiries. Quaygold's Beauty is a luxury business that sells essential beauty products such as lashes, lip glosses, matte lip gloss, lip scrubs, body scrubs, candles, and jewelry. Don't even let me hold you back. Go ahead and DM at QuayGoldsBeauty_ to get your hand on the products that you need. Hey y'all, I wanted to come on here to let you guys know about a scam that I almost fell victim to. This is a scam known as the personal assistant scam. Some of you may have came across Google forms that offer you the position of being a personal assistant to someone, and these jobs are very tempting. $450 or more a week, freelance, work from home, work on your own time, very tempting. There are scammers that prey on people that do these forms. They email you posing as an employer saying that you got the job. My scammer specifically went by the name Philip Skip Joseph. They request that you regularly run errands like repacking and shipping goods or donating to charities and whatnot. They send you checks to help do these tasks, and these checks are usually like $1,000 or more, and it's kind of like, why would you send checks of that amount to a stranger that you haven't even met? Knowing that a check takes time to deposit, they then ask you if you could actually send some of your own money to help with the shipping fees and whatnot, promising that they'll reimburse you as soon as the checks clear. Though these checks are from a legit bank, they are not in the employer's name and they will not clear. And this money that you send them is never returned. I think that it's disgusting that someone can do this, especially to college students, people who are already going through a lot. And if your major requires you to dedicate a lot of your time to school, then a job like this is very tempting because it's something that you can do within your own time. And it's sick. Now, I gathered the person that tried to scam me with the help of my sister and one of my best friends, and I clocked it right away because I was actually scammed a couple of months back. If you guys want me to get into detail about my personal experience of what happened with me and this scammer, then just let me know in the comments. I'm definitely down to do a quick YouTube video and let you guys know. But I felt like it was my responsibility as a decent human being to come on here and let you guys know about this scammer, because these scammers are out of control.
And we're back. Tap in, y'all. The Freedom Savage podcast is here.
Let's switch gears. My girl has dropped an EP.
Woo!
I will be leaving the link to her EP in the description below, so make sure you guys check it out. It's great music. I had that shit on replay for a little bit. I don't be on my main Instagram unless I'm promoting like stuff for myself. I have a spam account that I use, like that I mainly be on and stuff, because just like for my mental health and stuff, it just was like less stimulating. It was like my close circle, you know, like nobody's really on my spam. Nobody, like a solid 5 to 10 people. I go on my primary account to post myself, you know, marketing, business, music. But I ended up coming across one of your reels saying that you have music out. And I was like, check out her EP. Let me find out my girl put out a little small project too. Your EP has 5 singles and it is called Flight. What automatically got me about your EP was the artwork. I love animation art.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
So we're going to get into all of that. Before we even get into the music, what went into the artwork and why did you name your EP Flight?
I love answering this question because it's such a funny story. So let's set the scene. You're on a plane coming from Paris to New York. And I was so bored. I didn't want to sleep, didn't want to eat, didn't want to read, I didn't want to watch anything. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just produce something. So I pulled out my little iPad. I got GarageBand going. I had a chord in my head. So I just plucked out that chord and then I kept building. The whole song Flight was produced in under 15 minutes. It was insane. I just kept going. I was like, I want to add this. Let me add this. Quantize, shrink, all of that. And it was done. So I didn't have any words for it yet. So I just named it Flight because I made it on the plane. And I was like, I kind of want to stick with Flight. I don't know what else.
That was cute. It was like you kind of did it spontaneous, like Flight, but it really ended up being like a thing. Yeah,
exactly. The original first 2 lyrics, instead of "You're tired," I know it was supposed to be "I need a vacation, I need a vacation," because kind of like on the flight kind of thing. And it's supposed to be talking about like just letting go of worries and really letting God handle it all. And I don't know, just Flight really stuck with me for some reason. And it's like catching a flight, you going on vacation, you don't got no worries. The only thing you worried about is if you really turned the kettle off before you left the house. But
that's it. Like you're not really worried about anything else. You're worried about getting the out of wherever you at. You knew already that you wanted to make an EP, or did you only have that song in mind?
I only had that song. And I wanted to put it out as a single, but I was like, I have so many other like instrumentals just chilling. And I had words for them, but I was like, let me just compile them because they all kind of had the same message of like just letting go and letting God, you know? So I just kind of put that all in one thing. And the artwork, oh my gosh, I was like, okay, I want to put this out soon. So the story is, it could have been out sooner, but this had to be renovated. The studio had to be renovated. So that took like a month off my work time. So I was like, okay, as soon as this is up and running, I want to put it out. Like, and then I was saying it's called Flight. So let's put a passport on the cover. So I sat down on my iPad, I drew out a passport, and I didn't like how it looked originally. I was gonna add more stuff, but I really like how I did it there. I drew my little character and I showed it to my mom. I was like, what do you think of this? She was like, who is that girl?
I'm
It's
crying.
me. But I really like the idea of the passport because it's a little vacation listening to my music, I like to think. So that was the whole idea behind it.
So you made the cover art yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Took me away. I can't draw to save my life, but like I also like I'm very hands-on even with like my artwork. So the cover art got me right away. Like it's so fucking cute. And you just like giving me the context. That's what I mean by creating a world around your music. You sitting on a plane, you going somewhere and you're decompressing, you're letting your worries go, you're letting your stress go. This is the EP for you. So you alone just showed me this is the world you wanted to create around the project. And this is what we need artists to do. You know,
Yes.
we open up the EP with Show Me. What is Show Me about?
Show Me is about being conflicted in myself, wanting to be like God, but just not knowing how to go about it. It's kind of just like I'm trying to be perfect. I can't do that because no one's perfect, right? But it's more of like just kind of a prayer. It's just kind of like, please show me that it's worth it to be like you, you know?
Nothing.
That was a cute little song. That's the shortest song on the EP. Everybody was like, Vanita, make an extended version, please. It's so short. I was like, I mean, girl, it's an interlude. Like,
I'm crying. It served its purpose.
it's like nothing is about really being unashamed. Like just like what I was saying earlier about not being scared of promoting your stuff, not being scared of showing people who you really are. Like we are in a world where everybody is a cookie cutter version of each other, and it's really sad to see.
Gag order. Let's talk about the order.
That's the gag order. Gag order.
I need a gavel. I wanted to get on my T.S. Madison shit so bad this season. I need a gavel for real. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
It's like, why is everybody doing the same thing? And funny enough, the name I used to use is Unique, Uneik, because I wanted to be unique, but spell unique in a unique way. So it's like Inception, you know? So that's like my instrumentalist name. But then I was like, let me just actually use my name because I want to actually put my name on my stuff, you know?
Like attach you to your work.
Yes. And it's not like Renee came out of nowhere. Renee is my middle name. On my birth certificate, it does not have an accent, but we could save that. Nobody needs to know.
Just between me.
Between me and you. But nothing is really just about like, this is me and you're going to deal with it. Simple. If you don't want to deal with it, there's the door.
And I love how this song kind of like flows right into flight. It's
yes.
Just like what you said, it's like now that you've kind of shown yourself, nothing is like your way of actually just like revealing who you really are and kind of like standing on business with who you are. And now you're kind of just like, look, y'all see the tea, and now I'm about to dip. So what was was that like on purpose? Like was Flight supposed to be in the middle of this EP?
Yes, I didn't want it to be the first track because I wanted to kind of build up. Like Show Me is really slow, very soft, kind of like
demure.
Yes, very demure, very mindful.
Very mindful.
Then it jumps right into Nothing, which is just kind of like a switch. Like, oh, this is what we on. This is the type of time we on.
So we're in the kitchen. I'm cooking.
Right. Come on.
Come on.
When I listened to it like next to each other, I did not know how good it would go from Nothing to Fly. And it was like the fade out and then boom.
Oh, it was good. As a listener, that's why I was like, okay, so you did this on purpose. You was like, let me start with these two real quick. And then we gonna get to the T because it's the title track.
Yes.
Right? I felt it. Oh no! Again, y'all, the link is in the description below. Like I said, pause this, go listen to it. You have one feature on this EP,
Bell Rose. Now, Pretty Chains is one of the best songs I've ever put out. Love that song, Down. It's about
that it was a single. It was already a single.
Yes. When it was put out, Belle hit me up and she was like, "I love this. Like, do you want me to put a verse on it? I was like, yes, yes. She's absolutely amazing. Y'all listen to that. She is so good. Like it's insane. I was sitting here in the studio, listen to her sing. I was like, I'm gagged right now. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So it's really about like being trapped in a place you don't want to be, but it feels good to be there, like normal for the world space. Like everybody's doing it, so you think it's okay, but it's not really okay. And you really need to break free from the chains of like being set back in life, you know?
It's so crazy because then the song's called Pretty Chains. It's like
Yes.
there's a dichotomy there.
Yes, it looks
There's a
good. It looks good, but it doesn't feel good, you know?
there,
Because nobody
there's
wants to be
definitely
trapped.
Belle Rose is an artist herself.
Mhm.
She also sings, but out music. Uh,
Yes, she just put out something. It's not on streaming platforms, but she put it out on her YouTube channel. It's just Belle Rose, and it's called oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Um,
I'm about to say you could also like after this you could send me it because I don't mind promoting her stuff. I'm about to say y'all check
yes,
out her too. Check out her too because she did her thing on this motherfucking remix right now.
absolutely.
And we end the EP with YDC extended version. So YDC was also a single.
Yes.
YDC was also a single already. Okay, and what made you want to end the EP with this?
Just the fact that it's something that's been heard before. There's no additional verse like Pretty Chains featuring Belle. So it was just kind of like, let's close it off with something familiar, you know? So it's the same song, but I actually, I remember when I said I was doing all that acapella stuff back in the
Yeah.
day. I did like what it opens up with, the acapella part. I did that and it happened to be in the same key. So I was like, oh, okay, let me add
You
that.
added
Somebody
too?
literally DM'd me and was like, she
Yeah.
was like, Vanita, you need to make an extended version. Like this song is so good. So I was like, okay, I'm giving the people what they want. So I put that in the beginning, and it took so long for me to put something else in between, like the key change. I did not know how to get from one key to the next. And I was like, okay, let me just mess around and find out. So I went to the mic, just started singing, and I got there. And I was like, wow, look at God. This is amazing.
You took me on a damn trip, pun intended, with the damn EP. I'm not gonna lie, like it was so fucking good, and like I said, this really inspired me to bring you on here. I was like, I really wanted to get more insight into the work. I love the world you created around it, and
Yes.
do we're having more? So shit, are we getting a nothing extended? Like, what music are we getting from you in the future? What is this world you're trying to create with your music? Was this project to lead us up to something else, or is the EP kind of like standing on its own? What's the gag now for you music wise now?
I am working on something. Because of school and work, it's been a whole hot mess. I was trying to get into the studio before the semester started, but I will make myself available because I really want to take everybody on a flight. Like you said, you were taken on a trip. That's my whole thing. I want to just take you through different eras. And when we land, it's like, boom, we're in a different place.
I really
So,
love the flight motif. Like I really love,
yes.
like I've never seen an artist do this. So I
Mm,
really just love like, oh my God, like this whole flight concept, you definitely need to like stick with it and like really create this like
mhm.
we want to be on flight Vanita. Like let's talk about it. Like for
All
real.
aboard?
You need to come back in on here as a regular guest. That way we could really just
Yes.
cut up and talk about other topics because you have personality. You have like all the vibes that I love, like with a guest on this podcast. Like I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you for joining this. You opened up my season, so this is like amazing. Oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad you invited me. I'm very, very honored.
What I love about this podcast is I'm able to get the people that I love and fans and just everybody involved in it.
Yes.
Everybody can kind of dip their hand into it, even if you're not a YouTube person. Like this is a platform for you to share your views and be you and talk to me. Girlies are working, and I just told them we are in school. School has us by the lace. So it's just So,
Alex is a good girl.
like I said, y'all, her music will be in the description below, along with Belle Rose's music as well. Shout out to her. And yeah, this is your boy signing out, but catch me on the next episode. All right, y'all.
You're gonna shine. There's a difference between hearing and listening. You get it? A passion, a spirit, a devotion. We're making magic. Come on and talk.